Hello everyone, my name is Holly and welcome back, or just welcome if you're new to your monthly dose of new book releases. That's right, I upload these every single month, filling up your TBR faster than you can read it. And August is coming up oh so soon, which means a brand new batch of books to check out. It seems like there's quite a few major releases across pretty much every genre for readers to look forward to. I mostly have adult SFF here, so if that is your jam, stay tuned because here we are going to look at 16 of them. So starting on August 3rd, we have The Desert Prince. Demon Cycle fans have been waiting for this continuation since its announcement, so the launch of The Desert Prince is definitely cause for celebration. It's the first book in a brand new adult fantasy series set in the Demon Cycle universe 15 years later. But it's following a whole new generation of heroes, so it is safe to say you can dive in not having read the previous books, so you just might miss out on some details or Easter eggs, so to speak, but supposedly it does stand well on its own. The core of the story is all about darkness returning once more and our characters facing the demons along with it. Shards of Earth. When an author with the pedigree of ADRIAN writes something, you sit up and take notice. There are several reasons to look forward to this new sci-fi space opera, combining ADRIAN's mastery of crafting immersive worlds to complex and immersive storytelling with what's looking like a fascinating setting. Shards of Earth seems to have all of the elements in place to deliver another great book about humanity on the brink of extinction and how one man's discovery will save or destroy everything. We cry for blood. Devin Matson has been building upon her success with this narrative-driven high fantasy series, The Reborn Empire, and with the release of the beautiful third book and this quartet out this month, fans are very excited. Enjoyable world building, compelling and brutal consequences. The cover is fabulous, immediately telling you there are battles ahead, allegiances, deceit, murderous plots, all of it against an epic fantasy background. Join the cult by reading its origin, We Ride the Storm, and we can buckle ourselves in for its finale whenever it releases, hopefully in 2022. Starlight Enclave. If you thought the Drizzt series was over, you are mistaken. There's a lot writing on this book. The Drizzt series has been on an upward spiral with constant releases throughout the years. People adore The Forgotten Realms, has always been beloved by RGB diehards for so many reasons, from the unique atmosphere and the setting of the books to the sheer character agency, and now we could see the first new entry to the series, the start of a trilogy titled The Way of the Drow. It looks like it will be an appropriately fitting transition for our friendly neighborhood hero, Drizzt. Nolan. Sullivan fans have been in love with the Rhaenyra revelations for a long time, and with the release of Nolan, the first book in a planned standalone trilogy titled Rise and Fall, it looks like this new epic fantasy might need to have some of that spotlight as it's set in the same universe. I expect it to have the best shot at a breakout success, especially if it ends up falling through with how exciting it looks. This began as a Kickstarter campaign with great success, I'm assuming, and I'm hoping the series will be able to live up to all of its hype that it is currently generating. There's only one book coming out on August 5th here on my list, and that is The Hand of the Sun King. There are certainly a legion of reviewers who already swear by the wonders of this new fantasy debut. I mean, there is a lot to love here. A fantastical world of empire, magic and rebellion, a magic wielder of mixed race who finds himself caught between two paths with a chance to forge his own destiny. Oh. Now that the book is on its way to bookstores and libraries near you, hopefully all of those qualities will be able to shine through, especially with a cover like that. It's already a nice polish to a potential underrated diamond in the rough. The Maleficent 7. Cameron Johnston is returning with his over-the-top antics this month in what feels like a long-awaited, full-fledged adult fantasy novel, promising a gleefully ridiculous story, gruesome and violent, following a group of characters who come together 30 years after a failed mission. With huge similarities to Kings of the Wild, which is inherently famous for this interesting concept, the Maleficent 7 is looking to be a worthy story and a sea of mercenary fantasy, so here's hoping it does justice to that. Moving on to August 17th, which has a ton of new releases. The first one is Velvet Was the Night. Fans of this author, including myself, have definitely been force-fed some amazing books already this year, consistently delivering excellent books. She's gone from strength to strength with each new one, but there is yet another, so we will be feasting yet again. Sylvia is coming back with something fresh in this noir historical fiction mystery, and it's looking like a very exciting prospect, boasting a slow burn plot and suspense aplenty. It's hard not to be excited about what direction this story will go, whether you're in for the rich historical setting or the excellent storytelling or the plethora of addicting elements this author will mix in between. This one is shaping up to be yet another win for fans. The Pariah. As a new release from one of the current best fantasy writers, The Pariah has a great deal to live up to and is shaping to be one of the biggest releases of the month, and based on what we've seen so far, the story seems to be up for the challenge. I mean, just look at the cool cover, which I'm assuming is introducing us to our protagonist, a rogue character with one thing on his mind, and that is revenge. The storytelling seems to be making significant strides, being the first to an epic fantasy trilogy. We're hoping the book will be able to defy expectations and deliver something solid, hoping to put a unique twist on combat scenes and maybe even stealth with our assassin-like heroine. Dagger Hill, a new story that looks like a dystopian, but it's actually more of a culmination of Stranger Things and One of Us is Lying, taking readers to a paranormal setting. It's promising a creepy mystery set in the 1980s where four friends find themselves hunted by a malevolent presence in their sleepy hometown. Considering all of that, plus a cool cover design, you can't help not to be interested, especially for horror fans, and with Halloween right around the corner. The Exiled Fleet, the predecessor to this book, The Last Watch, grabbed attention with its release last year, and it has not let up. Every time I see more reviews for this fast-paced sci-fi adventure, it shows exciting potential. The series overall is shaping up to be quite an impactful story, especially for a debut author. It revolves around the future after humans have destroyed Earth. It tells the tale of a ship captain and a newcomer to her crew, a member of the royal family, as they face a threat of literally universal proportions. The sequel is coming out soon, so look out for it on August 17th. Wildwood Whispers, a release that has been generating a lot of buzz since it was first revealed earlier this year, and it's easy to see why. A cottagecore mystery set in the mountains, which is looking like a rich and beautiful setting, with a book that promises a seamless magic system that encourages exploration in a more whimsical sort of way. And that's something, if implemented well, can elevate any book. It's full of sisterhood with small town vibes, and then if you have a story that might just surprise people with what it accomplishes. I might be reading this one in August. Subscribe if you want to see the August TBR. Legacy of Light. If there's anything I've learned over the years, it's that a new finale from an Orbit Books author is guaranteed to be great. And that might be the case here with the Legacy of Light, the anticipated conclusion to the Legacy trilogy, an epic fantasy series of war and intrigue. The story focuses on an intense triple rivalry between empires, full of classic fantasy politics and exploration, with a vast and layered map, and more coming together here, and what will hopefully and at long last be the breakout hit the fantasy series deserves. Finally, moving on to August 24th, we have When the Goddess Wakes. It feels like it's been a long time coming, but When the Goddess Wakes will be here in our hands next month. The final book of the Ringsworn trilogy, Howard Andrew Jones returns to conclude his heroic adventure-filled epic fantasy with knightly orders, magical organizations, and it seems like this next installment is going to entirely new heights. This world has always looked vast, beautiful, and varied. The covers to this series are so enticing to your everyday fantasy reader. Talking about it, it seems excellent. Here's hoping longtime fans are satisfied once it's on paper. We have a couple books coming out on August 31st, and the first one is In the Watchful City. So Tor is great at defining all kinds of different genres, and here we have a different flavor of fantasy, but one that looks very promising, building on the foundation of an Asian-inspired world, combining elements of futurism and magic with a character who is tasked to protect the city they live in, with a story that is very abstract at times and looks to add its own unique spin to the story within a story trope. Hopefully it can capture what it wants to tell us in its small amount of pages. And finally, I have here Fury of the Demon. This series gets its conclusion this month, and it's exciting for a lot of reasons. Dragon Territory, as this book takes place in, is always one of my favorite stomping grounds in fantasy, and in my opinion, led to the trope's revival, and I can't wait to return to this world. Though I will say this cover might scare a lot of newcomers, the first book, Blood of an Exile, was a hit and spearheaded its way through the book community. Hopefully it can preserve what us readers loved most about the series while adding the expected touches only a conclusion can accomplish. And that is all I have for today. What are some of your thoughts on these new book releases? Share your comments down below, and if you liked this video, subscribe if you want. We'd love to have you here, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, happy reading.